How's it going, guys? In this video I'm going to be discussing the difference I have found in brand name tools versus budget tools and what you get for your money in both. So this is a topic that came up in the workshop very recently. We were speaking about the difference in quality between our newer die grinder, I have this for a few years now, compared to the old one we used to use, and just the overall quality difference we've noticed and the speed of job that this one can do compared to this one. So that's where I'm going to hop straight into now. This one here is a Campbell Horsefield one. It was bought off a tool truck. It was many years. It was approximately 50 euros that was spent on this one. And it's a decent tool. Definitely if you're only doing a minor amount of jobs, this will get you by. But a workshop that would be using a die grinder a lot over a long period of time, I would say not what you will go for. It was 50 euros, 25,000 speed RPM is on it, and I upgraded to this one, which was the Ingersoll Rand. Ingersoll Rand is a very well known brand, especially in air tools and air compressors and so on like that. This is a 27,000 RPM, but a massive difference using the exact same set of burr tools in what it was capable of doing, that extra 2000 RPM, and just probably the overall quality of the build on this. I replaced the gasket on this a couple of times as well, which it blew out, and this overall is in my opinion a far superior tool. Another thing to go along with that, when this was bought we got the common no name set, which is a burr tool set. There's 3 pieces in this, and not very good. I'll just give you a quick look at the head on it now, if you can see it. You can see that there. It's all chipped. It bashed up quite easy, whereas when we upgraded to this set, I picked this up while I was in Australia. This is a Jimmy industrial set, very reasonably priced. I believe it was $99, but there's five pieces in it, different angles, and very good, long lasting, quick cutting, good tool. So that is the difference in them. I'm going to run through some of the common ones like spanners, ratchets and sockets, and just give you an overall feel for those as well. So next up is a set that is in every mechanic's toolbox, which is spanners or wrenches. And from young apprentice, which couldn't afford much tools, to qualified mechanic, which could then afford tools, to married with kids and can't afford tools again, we have gone full circle on our tool purchases. So I just want to speak about the different ones I have had in my career and how I found them comparable. So I'm going to start with the very first one I have. Mr. No Name is back again. So this was a part of a set. So the very first kit I bought was a small box which included all very common tools: spanners, 1/4 inch drive set, 3/8 inch drive, and 1/2 inch, and a few screwdrivers, and the general starter DIY sets. But this was a spanner that was in it, and then when I moved over to Australia, we have workshop spanners down below. I needed to bring tools with me as well. I left some behind me, so I picked up Bergen or Bergen, whichever way you want to say it. I picked up that brand set. I picked them up in ratchet spanners and in your regular spanners as well. And then finally I upgraded to SP tools. You can see there, I upgraded to SP tools afterwards. How did I find them of a difference? Well, straight away, if you can just look, you see that? Just see on the edges there, and just there where you're doing inner tie rods, trying to hold them when you're doing tracking, and there's a lot of pressure. That's what really lets them down. The quality in the fitment and the quality in holding on these. There is a bit of play in this side compared to, we'll say, a more well-known brand. I don't have any snap-on in this particular range, but I do have SP tools, which is a good quality tool. So that's what I found with the spanners. Over time, you're going to get wear in here and wear in here as well. There'll be a bit more play, a bit more movement, and they can chip too. I've seen some of them to peel, where these will never chip. They'll hold. They'll have a better fitment on both the open end and the ring end, and they're basically a better tool. So what I would say is, if you're a DIY enthusiast, if you're an apprentice mechanic, if you aren't on the tools all the time, the likes of this set will be definitely good enough for you. It has done a lot of work for me, and this, when I was an apprentice, done a hell of a lot of work as well. None of them broke, none of them cracked. So that's them. The next is ratchet wrenches or ratchet spanners. So again, I bought these, like I was saying, as a stockpile, basically, doubling up on tools. But what I have found on the cheaper ratchet spanners is that hear the teeth there, the increments of the swing are larger, first of all, and I picked this one specifically because that has popped out on me in an engine bay when I was doing, what was I doing? I was tightening a drive belt, I think. Drive belt or an alternator, something along them lines, where I was down tight on the left hand side of the engine as I face it, and it popped out. The whole thing disassembled on me, so I was just left with the outer part, and it was pure luck that I happened to find it on the ground. It dropped all the way to the floor, which is always a celebration in this game, and I was able to put it back together again. The clip is still loose. I spread it as much as I can, but when I'm pressing it back and putting it in, it still allows that potential for coming out again. I never over tighten with these. I only use the ratchet mechanism. As soon as it gets to a point where they are tight, I will get my ring spanner, or I will get my socket, and I will tighten it with that. So it was never abused, but it still fell apart. So that is something in the budget ranges that you want to know about. This is an Elora one. I would say it's a better one than this. It's more expensive than that. It's not one of your top end ones for sure, and it has reasonable grip on the top end. It has never fallen asunder. That's why I have brought this one up. It has done quite a bit, hasn't fallen asunder, so a decent one without being amazing. And lastly is the Blue Point one I have, which are a flexi head, but just to give you an idea of the teeth is better gripping with the design they have, so it grips better, and the strength in the pawls in there, you can feel when you're turning it that it just has more grip. I'm not sure if it's a single pawl or a dew pawl in that. It's probably a single, but it just feels stronger, it just feels better, and less increment swings as well. So same thing goes for the ratchet spanners as for the spanners, except I would say if you're using ratchet spanners a lot. I would definitely get something on the mid to higher end. The budget one on that, if I could go back, I would not bother. They are okay, but when you're in this game every day, they're not good enough really. Sockets. So sockets are something that is in everyone's set as well, and I have my no-name one that I got in my kit from when I was an apprentice, to the SP Tools one that I upgraded to a number of years ago. Now, the reason I got these comparing to other brands at the time was this little ring groove here. I really like that. It's in many other socket sets, but if there's a little bit of oil or WD-40 or penetrating oil, you know, that just that little extra bit of grip is nice compared to this, where it's, when you're just turning it by hand, it can slip away easier. In a 1/4 inch drive, this is the set. This still is actually good. There's not much play. I still use it, and this is a better socket, but if you're DIY, I would say no problem getting them. Anyone that's in this game, I would recommend getting something with a grip and a better brand than your budget. But like I said earlier, the enthusiast DIY man, or if you're starting off, I couldn't fault a kit like this. Was, what's the name of the kit? Sealey. Sealey was the name of the kit that I got when I was starting off. Someday I'll do a toolbox tour on that and just show you the limited amount of tools I had when I started off, but it done me for a good couple of years. Now, lastly is my ratchets. I also have electric tools, but I don't have a budget range in them electric tools. I have never invested in crappy electric tools. I can kind of wear a bit if your spanners are so on go, because they're easy to replace. I don't want to be pumping in a couple of €100 into an electrical impact tool and then it breaks down after a year and a half, or you know, I don't want to be investing in that. So any electrical tool that I've ever bought that's in my kit is on the more expensive side or the quality side. I have Snap-on, I have SP Tools, as you can see in my Air is Ingersoll Rand, so I do pick ones that have a reputation for durability, strong guarantee, and that either I know another mechanic has used it for a number of years and I can get feedback from them and I know it's a good tool. So this Draper is my 3/8. This is the cheap one on this side. It is part of a 12.38 kit. The increment swing is ridiculous. It's so long. You can see there's movement in it. This has done little to nothing in regards to work, and yeah, you get what you pay for. As part of a cheap set, you can't really complain when you're not happy with your ratchet and that. I know Draper Expert has some decent tools out there, so I'm not knocking the brand, but this one I definitely couldn't recommend as a tool to get. I invested in my 3/8 range in Snap-on, and I have got a few of their ratchets and that. Very, very nice ratchets, lovely short swing in between. I have done a review specifically on the 3/8 ratchets if you want to see more in depth on that. But if you are in this game, your ratchets 3/8 specifically, invest in them, get good quality, don't skimp. It's something that will last you for a long time, and if you go the extra mile and spend the money, you should have a lifetime guarantee from the likes of Snap-on, and other brand manufacturers do lifelong guarantees on their tools as well. So that is it for just the common wrap up, and I'll just speak about my overall thoughts on them. So that is it, guys. I hope you found this video useful. I hope you got some good information from it. If you are starting out and going buying tools, I am not one of those guys who has to be one brand or another in regards to it's Snap-on or it's nothing. No, I wouldn't say that at all. I have Snap-on, I have SP tools, I have Teng tools, I have facom, I have loads of different brands. I also have them no-name brands that I bought when I was starting out. I would say assess your budget. Know what you have, buy the best tool you can within your price range, and with the likes of electrical tools or with the tools that are more chance of breaking down, I would say don't skimp on them. Spend the extra bucks when you have them and get a quality tool that's going to last you, rather than cheaping out at the start and just hoping it's going to be good enough. And that is it. Would love to hear what type of tools you had starting out. If you have any brand names that you would recommend that I haven't mentioned here, or that you have used for many years and are very happy with, throw them down in the comment section. And that is it. Thanks for watching again. Please like, share, comment and subscribe, and I hope to see you in the next one.